Let's just try to frame it up. Here it is, Rodeo Houston. It's the biggest rodeo in the world. It's undescribable. Production-wise, you have cameras all in your face.
Houston, that's one of yours.
You don't get paid just to perform, you have to win.
It's both just about as wild as this man's riding style. He's got a lot of speed.
You don't have much room to play with, and you don't have any time to think.
That's a tough cowboy.
Bull riders die all the time, unfortunately. I try to carry myself the best, but I know how quickly things can go left just because it's the most dangerous sport in the world.
Nobody is tougher. This has got to be the toughest man on the planet.
We're in the South, man. We're in Texas. You know, some people like you, they sit there and smile in your face, but when you're out there kicking their son ass, they really don't want to see that.
And a man that has put his life on the line numerous times.
Has anyone ever tried to make you feel like this isn't a sport for you?
I mean, anytime you're different or you stand out, you got that X on your back, you know?
Neil Holmes!
Hey, you ready to get slammed, son? It's a new concept, pretty much, for an African-American to be at the level that I'm at, so you don't know how people are going to react to it.
It's not a racist thing, it's just life.
Is the NBA racist for there not being more white people there?
Black people have been in this sport for a long time. Some of the original cowboys were black. I'm going to fit in whether you like it or not. I'm going to be here.
It's man versus beast. Nobody knows what could happen, you know. The outcome could be the ultimate sacrifice.
When you say the ultimate sacrifice?
Death.
Whoa.
We're here outside of Houston, Texas to meet Neil Holmes. Of the top 100 ranked professional bull riders in the world, he's the only African American. And he's actually getting ready to retire this weekend at his hometown rodeo, which would leave no black representation at the top levels of the sport.
We're gonna ride this horse here just like a bull. We're gonna put a bull rope around him. We'll control him like that. Other than that, he'll be free as we are.
So we're gonna hang out with him as he's getting ready for this rodeo, find out what his experience has been like as a minority in the space and why he's decided to hang it up.
You know, this just kind of gets you mentally prepared, you know, and it just kind of puts you in the mode to get ready to ride.
Neil? What's going on, man? Lee.
Nice to finally meet you, buddy.
Yeah, for sure.
Likewise.
What's your name, man?
How's it going, man? Craig.
Craig.
Nobody Craig.
Nice to meet you, Craig. How do you guys know each other?
Bull riding buddies, man.
Oh, both of you.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this is, what are you getting ready for this weekend?
This weekend, man, this weekend is Rodeo Houston. Unfortunately, well, you know, it's kind of bittersweet, but Rodeo Houston will be my last rodeo after 15 years of competing in bull riding.
Damn.
So we definitely want to go out with a bang, so we're just here kind of pre-gaming, making sure we got everything we need and we're ready for Friday.
Is this the practice gear right here, or is this the...
No, this is game time.
Oh, look at that.
This is game time. You hold on with your hand like this, and if you can stay there for 8 seconds, you'll win a bunch of money. This is when I put my cape on.
What got you into bull riding?
The bull riders was like, it was always the best event, you know, everybody would get excited, and all the girls love the bull riders. So like, man, hey man, I've been riding horses, I can do this, I'm gonna try to ride bulls. And
When was the moment that you, like, fell in love with it?
the first time I ever did it.
The first time you got on a bull?
The first time I've ever got on a bull, I mean, it's that addictive.
Thinking about being a minority in the sport, right, that is majority white, do you feel like you had to fight a little bit harder for your spot or fight hard to keep it?
You know, you definitely have to fight a little harder. And that's when it just comes down to, like, that person, that individual. That's that edge that can't be taught.
I mean, has it ever sunk in when you're sitting in the locker room or you're getting ready to like climb into the chute, you take a look around, you don't see anyone else that looks like you. Does that really like, does that affect you?
Check this out, check this out, check this out. You're in a stadium, I mean, there
Right.
might be 20, 30,000 people in there. You're standing on the back of the bucket chutes and you got a good view of everything that's going on. And you're looking around just to find somebody that look like you.
Why?
Because that's just familiar, you know, that's just us as humans. And that's not to pull a race card, I mean, it's the fact the audience that we're attending is, you know, 90% Caucasian. But this is where my job places me, you know, this is what I gotta do to feed my family. So it's not like I'm walking in there and most of those people are fans. At the same time, I think that hinders a lot of other African-American cowboys because they can't handle that situation or they're afraid of that situation. Me, I feel like I was just versatile and well-rounded enough that it didn't matter, you know, who I was riding in front of. I just want to ride bulls, and if you appreciate bull riding, you're gonna like it.
The history of the black cowboy in America has deep roots, dating back to before the Civil War when slaves became ranch hands in place of the white men called to fight for the Confederacy. And while about 1/4 of the cowboys in the American West were black, that history has largely been whitewashed in popular culture. Professional rodeos were established in the 1930s, and in those early years, segregation was prevalent in the sport. And even after they were integrated, only one black bull rider has ever become world champion in the top rodeo associations. That disparity in representation still lingers over the sport today, and whether or not it's keeping black riders out of the sport is still up for debate. We're in some tiny town in the middle of nowhere outside of Dallas at like an open rodeo with a $2,000 cash prize. It rained all day, so it is muddy as shit out here, but that hasn't stopped anyone from climbing on the back of these bulls. We're going to talk with some of the people in the crowd and hear their perspectives on if race can really be a barrier to entry in the sport. How important do you think like representation is in getting people involved in the sport?
Oh, it's extremely important. There's so many kids that just, you know, they see it, but they don't even have a clue, you know, to how to get started, even try to start doing it.
Nobody just wakes up one day and says, I'm gonna go ride a bull. You have to kind of have somebody you know that introduces you.
But, you know, somebody needs to be a driving force behind them. So, hey, man, you know, you can do this. All you gotta do is man up and get on.
From my perspective, there's nothing that could hold you back besides yourself in the sport of bull riding. It's not about the color of the cowboy, it's about the size of his heart.
So you don't think that racism plays a role in the way that black bull riders participate in the sport?
No, not once they make a bull rider and become a bull rider, it doesn't matter what color you are.
These guys, I guarantee you, if you're black, white, Asian, whatever, they'll welcome you if you want to get on.
This is one place I know in my heart. We're all a family, and we love it, and we love each other, and we don't see anything past success and getting on that bull.
But I feel like everyone might not be as open-minded or as accepting as you might be.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what else to say, but that's sad.
You know, I personally haven't seen it, but I'm sure there is, because there's something everywhere.
I can't see why anyone would see it that way, honestly. I really can't. And that may be because I'm not coming from a black person's perspective.
I've been on the backbone of being treated differently because I was white.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody didn't make it and they said it was because I was black, they're lying to you, and they're making excuses.
I love the cowboy culture. I love the whole aspect of it. But as a black cowboy traveling, you know, I've ran across my fair share of racism. And then, too, I mean...
Tell me about that.
We're in the South, man. We in Texas, you know, and I've been in situations where I'm at a bar and me and my friends were there just having a good time, and it was an altercation because I was a nigga with a cowboy hat on, you know?
What was it like growing up out here? Well, I know you grew up not in Houston.
Man, growing up made me, you know, guys say, Neil, damn, you tough, and, you know, I think growing up did that for me. You know, I grew up, you're not in the city, you're just right out the city, but hell, your crime rate you have there is even bigger, you know? And I can remember as a kid, like, my mom would tell me, like, hey, if you're driving through here, just keep driving. Don't even stop and get gas, just keep going. Black people used to hang from trees in these same areas. With all that going on, I've learned to channel everything out and focus on what's in front of me. Just worry about the things you can control. If you can't control it, don't worry about it.
Is this like around where you grew up at, or is this where your homies grew up at?
No, this is where my homies grew up at, and this is kind of where we all started at.
Right.
You know?
So this is a barrel bowl where Neil and Craig and a bunch of their homies got started, and this is also still, years later, a part of Neil's preparation for rodeos.
Some of my colleagues, if I was in their role, if I had to live their life, there's no way I'm not a world champion.
Right.
Hands down.
Do you feel like coming out of neighborhoods like this one, where you're face-to-face with poverty every day, you kind of got to fight to make it out of here, that helped give you that fearlessness that you needed as a bull rider?
Most definitely. You don't have an option, so you got to make something happen. Some guys have the talent. Ride bulls better than me, ride bulls better than Craig, ride bulls better than your world champion right now. That talent is in here, I've seen it. But for whatever reason, whether it was, as I said before, the lack of financial resources, just the knowledge of knowing how to do it, or the knowledge of knowing that it can even be done.
How important is it as a young black bull rider coming up to see someone like you at the levels of the sport that you've reached?
I think it's necessary. It's damn near mandatory, you know, like I was able to see it because my best friend was Craig Jackson and he was the one to do it before me. I'm done. Craig's done. So, you know, we just hope we pass the torch and leave it in good hands, but.
Who's next?
Man, a little young kid. I don't really know kid, man, but he's from around the way and he's been riding everything, man. Ezekiel Mitchell. I don't know much about him. I just know he rides bulls good.
Hey, you ready to get slammed, son?
We're at a practice bull riding ring outside of Houston, Texas to meet up with Ezekiel Mitchell. Zeke is a 20-year-old bull rider who Neil was actually hoping would replace him as the only African-American at the top of the PBR. The thing is, while Zeke rode as a pro last year, no one has seen him on the circuit at all this season. So we're gonna talk to him about what's been keeping him from riding as a pro this year.
This is where my career started, really, right there in those bucking chutes over there.
Whose ring is this?
That man on the fence, the really old cowboy-looking man.
Okay.
He be trying to act cowboy, but he learned everything he know from me.
This is your ring?
Yeah, this is my son out here raised. That's exactly that's what my mom said you'd say. This is my son. Yeah.
I first started coming out here. If you want to be a bull rider, I'll make you a bull rider, I'll kill you. That's literally what I'd do. I'd get on 8 or 9 bulls here a night, and I got tired of getting put on my butt and eventually learned how to ride them.
These bulls are actually really huge to be non-professional bulls, and they're all just staring. They're all just looking at me. Like they're not, why are they plotting right now?
Whatever you're ready. Let it go. He said go. Try, Levi.
I would not do that without a helmet. That was fucking gnarly. What happened that you haven't been on the circuit so far this year?
Honestly, finances. It's really hard to do it all on your own, and you can go out and still ride your bulls and not win a check.
What are the costs of being a pro bull rider?
The flights and the hotels, that's the things that really add up and hurt you in the long run. I've spent over $1,000 out of my own pocket and not win a single dime back, so.
Jeez, that's rough.
Yeah, it's rough.
Once you learn to ride bulls, like this fellow right here is doing, It's like riding a bicycle. You'll never forget it.
Bull riding is simple. Leg on each side and mine in the middle.
You're climbing on top of a bull. What is going through your mind?
Different person takes over me. It's kind of like I start tuning everybody out. Everything just starts fading away. It's just me and the bull. I just become the person I've always wanted to be.
Yeah.
And the magic happens, I guess.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, get your head up. All right.
Are you proud of this kid? What he's been able to do in this
Oh,
sport?
yeah. Yeah, he went from just getting on beginner bulls, being something around here, to getting on any ranker bulls here and better bulls, learned how to handle the better ones. Then he moved on up, went on where he needed to go.
What does it mean for these younger guys out here to see you keep coming back, keep riding these bulls?
Oh, dude, I get phone calls and, hey, when you gonna come back? You can come help me out. It just means a lot to me because this place is gonna continue to thrive. I mean, it might be an old rundown place, but it means a lot to a lot of people. So.
Is that why you keep coming back?
Yeah, gotta give back. Don't forget where you come from. First thing I ever won, riding bulls.
Young bull riders or something?
Yeah, Southeast Texas Youth Bull Riding Association.
That was the first trophy you ever got riding bulls?
First one.
In 2017, Zeke's professional career was put on hold in the wake of Hurricane Harvey, which severely damaged his family home. He sacrificed the funds he needed to continue on the pro tour to instead help his family rebuild.
My daughter is still traumatized from it. She does not, as soon as it gets to raining too hard, she does not want to have nothing to do with it.
Zeke, where were you at this time?
At school. Trying to get them whatever I could provide and whatever they needed to get through everything. So if it was financial, then I gave them that.
Is that one of the reasons why you feel like getting back into pro riding is so important to you?
Whenever I started riding bulls, I told my mom that one day she ain't gonna have to worry about nothing. We ain't gonna be broke no more.
Early on, it was a little difficult for you to watch him go ride these bulls. Why is that?
Because as a mother, I was scared to death. And there was no way I could keep him from doing it either. He would sneak off with his friends. He'd go with his dad would have him doing it. So
When I turned 18, I left.
he did.
I'm curious, what is it that you're doing to keep rising to the top ranks of pro bull riding?
When I get broke, I borrow like $100, $200 and go in a rodeo and make some more money. And that's pretty much how I keep it going.
You know, you pitch him pennies already, and now he wants to support, then it's not that we don't support you, but some things you got to put forth the effort. Things that are given to you are not appreciated like things you work for.
Right.
Now he understands it.
What would it take for you to get to that higher level at the PBRs, get to that place that you want to be?
If I get enough money to go, then I'm on the road, and I believe full and wholeheartedly that I'd be on tour.
What would it take to secure those finances?
Sponsors, somebody, an anonymous donor, I don't know, somebody just helping me out, just help me not do it on my own anymore. That's the hardest part.
What's it been like being on the road with Zeke?
I mean, we're in a car pretty much like all week long. And like on the weekends, we're literally jumping from like rodeo to rodeo. So I never get time to like shower or like do anything.
Yeah.
So.
Has it been difficult, like knowing how bad he wants this and like seeing how hard he's like struggling for it?
Yeah, it's pretty tough sometimes, especially when he gets super down on himself because he's not like riding good or something. Like there's points where he's like want to cry and I'm like, I don't know what to do, you know?
Yeah. What does this sport mean to him?
I can honestly say everything.
This young man has everything it takes to be a world champion, and I idolize this guy, and I want to be just like him and ride bulls just as good as him, if not better.
Some people don't like the fact they highlight me, you know.
But when you go out there and shine like you do, when you ride to the best of your ability.
I think there's just some people that are still caught up in that old school mentality, like, like this is primarily like a white-dominated sport. Why do you feel like, why do you feel like you deserve to be here? Yeah. I mean,
you get what you put into it, and you've dedicated yourself.
I take the good with the bad, and that's why you just gotta ride your bulls for 10 seconds so people can't say nothing to you.
Some of the difficulties that Zeke had spoken to me about before, have you seen that? Have you experienced it?
I had no idea that it really existed until I got with him. Like, we were at a rodeo not too long ago in, like, Virginia or something, and I was, like, talking to these people, like, the whole time we were there, and at the end, they do autographs, and they got everybody's autographs except him. Like, when he came, they, like, pulled their stuff back and, like, acted like he wasn't there, and then they figured out that, like, I was with him, and they wouldn't talk to me anymore.
Wow.
Like, they acted like I wasn't even there.
How did that make you feel?
I mean, nothing really I can do about it.
Well, I mean, we both tied, so shouldn't one flip see who picks bulls first?
It don't really bother me too much no more because I kind of block everybody else out. I'm there for one purpose, one goal, and that's to ride my bulls. So, and it's kind of funny, like, you'll be signing autographs and stuff, and they'll be like, there's a such thing as a black cowboy, and you're like, you're looking at him.
After the rodeo, I wanted to chat with Zeke and his friends and get their thoughts on whether or not young black riders are getting the same opportunities to break into the pros.
All I said is I don't feel like it's any different. Like, I do feel like there's some people that look at us differently. Yeah, some people are still racist.
Yeah, wait, hold on, Zeke, what are you saying right now?
Nah, I was just saying that some people are evil and they still believe in racism. That's pretty much all it is. That my viewpoint on the whole sport is like, it's like some people are still racist, some people are still caught in their ways.
You feel like people treat you differently?
Not necessarily, not people on a majority, but there are some people there that are probably shy, go off if they're not strong enough to take it. I've been to rodeos where they were throwing popcorn and other stuff at people and calling them the N-word and all kinds of stuff, trying to tell them they don't belong at the bull riding. That doesn't make a difference. I've seen some stuff like that, dude, and it's wild. I have a cousin that was in the same position as me when he was a kid. He wanted to be a cowboy, There's nobody we could look up to really and say, hey, I want to be like that guy. I mean, there's people we can read about in the books, but there's nobody we can actually see.
Why should he have to look like you for you to look up to him?
It's fun.
I don't know, it just...
I went to Louisiana.
I mean, what's wrong with that?
It's a different, I don't know.
I went to Louisiana for a
But hold on.
I ain't trying to start no argument or
I'm just saying,
anything
like,
like
but
that.
what?
you don't want it. But when you think about basketball, the
That's
first
what I was-
person you think about
I was about to
is
say
black,
that,
right?
LeBron James,
Like,
yeah.
it's just,
Why isn't there more white
that's,
people in basketball? Tell me that.
That's what.
I don't know.
That's who's done it. For
There is,
so long.
Is the NBA racist for there not being more white people there?
But
I think that comes.
And is there a reason why there's not more white people there?
Dudes are just like good at basketball, you know what I mean?
Because they're black? Or because what?
I don't know.
Their culture, that's what they were raised around. Yes.
No, nothing that nobody says. I ain't never been in y'all shoes, but I know as a black man myself, there's a lot of people that tell me they're gonna do this and that because I'm a black man. They're gonna go to the white man, even though I rode good better than them. That's the thing about the BBR.
Ezekiel, you're black. You're in the Velocity tour. They're about to be on tour on Billboard Tub.
There's people, like I said, but there are people that simply don't want it. That do not want the same thing.
But are they important to the sport?
When it's judges and stuff like that, that can screw you out of whether you get a reride or not. I mean, people get screwed out of rerides or not all the time. But when the simple fact is you can look up on the big screen, you can turn around and see that point blank somebody got fouled, but you refuse to look at the screen even though you got people arguing with you on each side. That's what I'm talking about.
I hear you. I know there's something to what you're saying. I'm not denying.
There are so many people that don't give a fuck about us.
I don't feel like I see it from there. Like I don't see it because I'm not black. I've never had somebody treat me like I was black.
Right.
So I can't like stop me like.
This might be.
It's like a hard thing to kind of accept, right?
It's a new concept pretty much for an African American to be at the level that I'm at. So you don't know how people are gonna react to it. Y'all get shot with just me and Elsie?
Oh yeah, what? What?
Yeah. It might not be because they're racist or anything, but it's because it's a scary new thing. People just don't know that it's okay.
After the rodeo with Wilmer, Zeke wanted to show me how some communities are trying to bridge the gap and help get more black riders involved in the sport at a professional level. So we're heading to an all-black heritage rodeo in Humble, Texas. So we're in the city of Humble at the Civic Arena for the 15th annual Heritage Day Festival Rodeo. This is an all-black rodeo, and it's one of the small group of black rodeos across the southern states that keeps Western culture alive in black communities.
African-American cowboys and cowgirls don't always get an opportunity to showcase their talents in some of the larger rodeos and some of the professional rodeos, and so we are a black professional rodeo.
This is like a barrel racing relay race. Why is it important for you guys to put on rodeos like this one?
When you see someone that looks like you doing something that you want to do, then it gives you the courage to say, hey, I can do that. But on the other hand, if you see somebody that may be of a different nationality doing it, you may think, oh, that looks fun, but it may not ring true to you. You know, in the South, black cowboys and cowgirls didn't really have an opportunity to do things or to go to entertainment type of things because of segregation. And so the rodeo was their entertainment. So it's important to keep it going because some of it has gotten lost in history, just looking at kind of what you see as far as rodeo now.
So when you think about representation in the sport, how important are things like Heritage Night or Heritage Rodeos in general?
It is, man, it is the only time that some of these people get to see professional cowboys of any color. Of course, the production is going to be on a lot smaller scale, but that's where I started. That's where all the guys that came before me or paved the way, they started there, you know. If they don't start there, then where do they start?
These smaller rodeos are the type that Zeke has to compete in so he can keep making money while he's not on the pro circuit.
Tonight's a tough pen of bulls too because they're younger bulls, calves, and they don't really have a set pattern or direction yet.
What would it mean to you to climb back on top of a bull at a pro rodeo?
It means a lot to me to be there because I want to be on a higher platform. That's my goal. I want to be a world champion.
And so in the meantime, you're going to keep riding at the college level?
Riding at the college level, the amateur level, just to build my finances up for myself. So trying to get back on my feet. Ride didn't go too good. I didn't necessarily draw the best bull, and I could have rode a lot better. But, I mean, it's all part of it. Things happen.
And so what's next tonight?
Liberty, Texas. Mutt Newman's putting on a rodeo, so I'm going to try to make a little bit more money so we can keep getting down the road.
Zeke didn't place tonight, so he's going home with nothing. And back in Houston, Neil's getting ready to compete for that same winner's check for the last time. So we're here at NRG Stadium for Rodeo Houston's last day of the Super Series, and this could potentially be Neil's last ride. Friday, he bucked off early. Saturday, he had a great ride, and today will determine whether or not he moves on or if this is just it for him in this sport.
Oh, maybe that wasn't the thing to do. What did he do? That's eating what did he do? Come on, NRG.
So lay it out for me. Why are you retiring?
Why am I retiring? I mean, you can look at my face. I wasn't born like this, you know. I was a cute kid, I think. But from riding bulls, I mean, all these scars are from, you know, kissing the bull by the head or, you know, holes in your chin, you know. I've had so many stitches in my face, it's ridiculous.
Houston, that's one of yours that is really wanting it. Neil Holmes.
I mean, these bulls nowadays are 10 times better than they were 15 years ago.
Really?
And me at 32, I mean, I think they still making humans the same, you know, so I don't feel like I have to compete anymore. I mean, what else can I do besides win a world title? You know, I don't have that drive in me, so that's not even an option.
Knowing that Neil's leading this sport, I wouldn't say it's troubling that there aren't going to be any black athletes left at the top, but I do understand how important it is to know that someone like him exists if you're someone like me. Did you have any second thought when you considered retiring, knowing that there's no one really following behind you?
I thought about that quite a few times, you know, because everybody asks us that question, like, who's next? And, you know, everybody wants to know. I hope we find that guy. I hope Ezekiel's that guy. I know several guys that have the talent. For whatever reason, got tired of traveling, couldn't afford to travel anymore. And the thing about it is you have to want it. It comes from something real deep inside. And if a guy doesn't want it, it's not gonna happen.
Moving to Neil Holmes, and Houston is his last rodeo. He's retiring, and we asked him why.
I'm just old. I'm 32. That's 100 in bull riding years, and I'm working with the PBR now. We're doing some youth outreach, and hopefully we can recruit and make the future of bull riding.
Gonna give back to the sport that's given him so much.
So when that gate swings open for the last time, what's that gonna feel like?
It's gonna be a sign of relief, like it's over. But at the same time, like, it's the last ride right here. It's all or nothing. I mean, there's a lot at stake, so if I allow myself to get overwhelmed or to lose focus, it could result in a buck off, it can result in an injury. I mean, who knows? Death. It's man versus beast. It's the most dangerous sport in the world. And we as bull riders, that's something we've accepted.
That's the try of a champ, Boyd. That is the try of a champion.
Right there, once again at the whistle.
Stereotypically, you know, you have the white bull rider and the white cowboy. Whatever your dream and passion may be, just because you don't look like whomever it is that normally does it, don't think it's out the question.
There we go. Hey now. We're
Put
friends.
your legs on him. There you go.
We're all friends here.
Now just sit down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're fine. That's all. He's gonna do that one time.
Let's see how you do when we open the gate.
Yeah, he really did get it up.